There's a song in Eurovision 2025 which has a substantial enough following, but almost no one thinks that it can go the distance. It's not topping the odds, it's not lighting up TikTok, and it certainly isn't tipped to be able to get into the finals. And on the surface it might seem like something we've heard before, but listen closely, because what it's doing underneath is far more intricate and far more powerful than what it seems on the surface. This song is doing things that people haven't even noticed. 2025’s. But before you click away, especially if you think you've made up your mind already about this one, stick around, because there's something you just may have missed. So let's talk about Latvia. Not a bookie's favourite this year, not a fan-voted favourite, but one of the most interesting songs in this year's comp, hands down. But let me get something straight. This video itself is not a hype piece. This is a musical analysis and a case for why this song deserves so much more attention, even from you. This song lyrically is based off folk tunes, Latvian Dainas. I hear you asking, Mike, but nobody is going to know what a Latvian Dana is, let alone Latvian music, when we go into semi-final 2. So why should we vote for this? It's true most people are going to go in not knowing anything about this. There's one thing that I think will get this through, and we'll talk about this later. However, to get a deeper appreciation for this, we're going to take a look at the lyrics and how they actually work with regard to the melody and the harmony. Dainas are traditional four-line folk verses passed down through generations, short, poetic, but incredibly deep. They can be about ritual, protection, emotional wisdom, grief, joy, nature, spiritual connection, and resilience. Understanding that gives everything else in this song more weight. The lyrics are so simple. It opens up with a beautiful harmonic, held notes by the vocals moving, using fifths. When I say this song has power, I actually mean it's got power. To explain it really simply, a fifth is an interval between two notes. It's a distance. Fifths are often used to signify power, to signify royalty. And it's no shock and surprise that this song opens up harmonically with fifths in the vocals. And then we go into a descending melody, a quick descending melody, as if a spell is being cast on you. Here's the kicker. We hear that descending melody, in minor tonality mind you, which means it's associated with sadness or fear, something which is a bit uneasy. And the lyrics translate to, you cast a spell on me, you will not destroy me. You cast a spell on me, you will not destroy me. That's it. Over and over and over again. It's an incantation, linking straight back to Dana's spirituality, resilience, you will not destroy me. And this is where we get the Latvian symbolism of the oak tree. Oak, a symbol of patriotism, is a symbol of resilience, is a symbol of coming together. Oak is not only referenced here in the lyrics. Referenced in the lyrics when we head into major tonality, where we've now got a huge use of these open fifths like I was talking about. Major tonality brings hope. Major tonality brings joy and happiness. We've switched into this. And the video clip itself has the vocalists coming in and out of an oak tree. The harmonies are not only rich between the vocalists, but using them have an ethereal quality. The lyrics in this section are very simply, people build a bridge using copper. I build one using oak. The copper rusted, the oak sprouted leaves. That's it. One of the most powerful trees in Baltic folklore, representing strength, national identity, sacred life. showing a mineral dug up by man to be used to create things, is not as strong as the organic, life-giving, sacred symbol, linking straight back to Dana's. On top of that, this is that verse that pulled me out and made me listen and made me think. This is the one which sounds ethereal. It sounds sacred. It sounds like it's otherworldly. And how's that achieved? Really simply. Even if you don't understand music, you don't need to even have to be able to read this. We are centered around this note here, an E. It then moves to be centered around a D. That's well and good, but musically, moving from an E centered to a D centered is not something that happens usually. It's not something our ears are accustomed to. It makes it sound more tribal, more modal, and more otherworldly, more spiritual. This is used here for that reason. Two sections that we hear over and over and over again. There's one little one which flips it on the head, a moral to the story. I did not know my happiness. I did not know my happiness until I met misfortune. Why wasn't that line said by many others? Why wasn't it a whole lot of voices? It's because she's speaking right to us. It's intimate, it's raw, and it's emotion. It balances the strength of the oak and the power of emotion with human vulnerability, but with wisdom, with reflection, all again what Danas are about, Latvian Danas. But listen to how it moves back, and it moves back using a repeated note. As that comes in at the end of that section where she says, "Until I met misfortune," it sets up this driving beat, this driving force to move back. And it keeps going underneath. We now have a realization. And that realization is, cast a spell on me and it won't destroy me. I've just gone through a journey. I met misfortune. I didn't realize my own happiness until I met misfortune. So do your best. Cast a spell on me. It will not destroy me. We hear a beautiful melisma up at the top registers the last time, with one vocalist belting. The melisma, the notes at the top moving across the one syllable as melismas do, solidifying that realization. And challenge, cast a spell on me, you will not destroy me. The resilience. Now, of course you're not meant to know what this means going in. No one's going to do the research. That's fine. So I mentioned that there's one thing that can get this through, and it's not the song. The song is beautiful in itself. It's the staging. If they cannot get the staging right, this stays in the semi-finals. We have hints of staging here, and the use of the rain, the blue light, the torment, the storm, the flashing lights works amazingly. It works incredibly for this. But my one gripe is the non-use of the oak tree. The one thing that I think is really going to ruin this is if they keep the whole curtain situation, where these women are popping out from behind the curtains. To me, it seems gimmicky. Where is the use of the oak tree? This oak tree, I think, is really important. And we have a really amazing vulnerable part in the middle, a part which builds. And you know what? There was a song which used a tree as symbolism. A tree in a part which was vulnerable and then built. And that song won Eurovision. This is not going to win Eurovision whether it uses that or not. But bring the oak tree. What was that song I was telling you about a moment ago that won Eurovision, that used a tree in a vulnerable part, which we have in this song, in the middle? Here we have a tree for symbolism. A tree which starts off small and grows quickly in a state of vulnerability, manifesting and turning into something in a state of power. We have two parts in our Latvian song, which this can be used in. Our vulnerability, our vulnerable part, where she's singing on her own. This allows for a slow growth of a tree, and a part where they're singing together, but the dynamics and the texture are building, culminating into that beautiful belt of melisma, kind of like what Jamala did in her high register. This facilitates a more rapid growth of the tree. Whilst Eurovision acts are almost obsessed with copying what happened the year before and which was successful, key changes, tempo changes, styles. Here, we've got a clear representation of culture, of patriotism, of tradition, of ritual, the oak tree. And what this national final performance, in my opinion, neglected to do was to bring that symbolism of the oak tree in visually, in the absence of people who will not understand the lyrics and the culture. Just like Jamala did in 2016. The symbolism of tree, of life, and in this case, something that can be linked to culture, in my opinion, will be the defining factor whether this song gets into the finals from semi-final 2. Latvia is giving us a song which is built from ritual, nature, resilience and wisdom. It honours its folklore, not by just dressing it up, by letting it speak for itself. So did this change how you hear it? Let me know in the comments. Or maybe I've just gone full oak worshipping forest wizard. But honestly, I'm good with that.